Greetings, everyone. Now, before I get into all of the smart talk, let's kick things off with a quick question. How many of us here have dreams? Okay, well, the whole audience raised their hands. Expectation has definitely been achieved. Just to make things a bit more interesting, how many of us have fulfilled our dreams? Okay, well, safe to say, a good majority of us have. Now, if you were to ask these questions back at me, obviously my responses would be coming from a high school student's point of view. But today, I decided standing before all of you here today isn't just a high school student. I stand here as a representative of all the countless voices that I've been through this one particular phase of life. Now, before I can say anything more, allow me to share a personal story. For the longest time, I always thought that dreams had a definition. I used to believe that a dream had to be something life changing or extraordinary to truly matter. With this, I was never able to accept the fact that I had any dream whatsoever because none of my dreams were bound to change the world or to regenerate the reality. They were all small fantasy filled dreams. For instance, I used to dream about being Snow White for a day and play with those seven dwarfs all day long. I even used to dream about getting the golden ticket to visit Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. They were really crazy dreams. Now, looking back at all of these dreams and my childhood, I realized that dreams, they aren't confined by any rules, regulations, or measures. You see, a dream can be as small as dreaming to learn how to fry an egg, or it can be as big as dreaming to construct the world's first time traveler machine. There is really no limit. But if you really think about it, this is all within your perimeter, all within your point of view. So let's take a moment to check our surroundings. I think we can all agree that today's society is really diverse, with so many cultures and differences being embraced. But there's still this one thing which makes the most of us take a step back. A step back from snatching that 1% to make it 100%. A step back from making it to the top of the world. You know what that small thing is? It's the lifelong battle of acceptance and for recognition. Now, before I elaborate on this, let's take a look at all of the challenges that surface today's society. Now, the list goes beyond infinity, from prejudice, divisions, misunderstandings, and stereotypes. I can go on and on about this. You may ask me, though, why haven't these challenges been resolved? Now, we're in 2025. Times have changed, generations have passed, and decades have been counted, yet why do we still strive to overcome these challenges? The main question being, why hasn't anyone come forward to break the chain? You see, the answers to all these questions stays analogous, even though we all agree that people have different thought processes and mindsets. It's the existence of fear, and the fear of standing out, which makes it so difficult to make a change. People are still hesitant, and they continue to hesitate to make a change, even though they themselves know that it's for nothing but the better. They start to question the validity of their idea, thinking that it's wrong to not follow the same old stereotype that has existed for millennials, decades now. They start to think that maybe their idea won't gain the acceptance that it needs, the recognition that it's entitled to. With so many factors at play, one's perspective is just lost. Within the snap of my fingers, it's just gone down the drain, not knowing how much potential it had to shine under the limelight. The ability that that one perspective had to change the progression of the world. Some may call it forgotten dreams. Some may call it the biggest regret of their lives as they chose to not go forward with this mindset. Some even call it buried gold, the gold that would reach no other's pickaxe but yours. Now, there's this quote which I often look back to that reminds me that unparalleled points of views still have a stance in today's world. Now, the quote says, "Normal is not something to aspire to, it is something to get away from," by Jodie Foster. Normal is not something to aspire to, it is something to get away from. Now, I want you all here to think about this quote and try to figure out what normal should you be getting away from. And ultimately also find out and understand the importance of making your mark at every step of the way. Therefore, also come to the conclusion that a stereotype isn't your compass to finding success. Now, before I leave off the stage, let me end this with a nostalgic phrase. Fight the battles, no matter how big, how small, how relevant they are to your path. Fight them. Be the change, no matter what it is. And be you, because you only can be you. Thank you.
Thank you, Nandini.